Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Oh, yeah. So, for 4 years, we have heard Russia's why Trump won. Russia's why Trump won, right? We've heard that for 4 years. And this is what I watch CBS. Their CBSN is their like 24/7 live stream because I like kind of seeing what they're. I like watching the corporate media just see what bullshit they're pushing. Now this is from like a week before the election. So this is 3 weeks ago. This is CBSN 3 weeks ago. Talking about Russia. Because isn't it weird? Once Biden was declared winner, oh, suddenly, right, I guess Russia didn't hack the election. But this is 3 weeks ago.
FBI Director Christopher Wray says that Russia is making, quote, very active efforts to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. Wray testified before a House committee on Thursday. He said that Russia was using a variety of tools like social and state media to disparage Democratic candidate Joe Biden. And
is this the same social media? Remember, they went for Congress and Facebook testified that Russia spent $100,000 on Facebook ads? And that's what swayed the election? Remember that? And a bunch of suckers, vote any blue will do people bought that? No, Hillary lost because she ran a horrible campaign. But I guess that congressional hearing, $100,000 on Facebook ads? Hillary had $1.5 billion. Now, it couldn't be that Hillary didn't campaign in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It was Russia. And then the CEO of Google said in 2017 or 2018 that he found that Russia spent a whopping in Google ads, get ready for this dollar amount, $4,700. And everybody on the left just bought it. That's how Trump won. They couldn't possibly admit that Hillary lost. She ran a horrible campaign. She was going to $20,000 a plate dinners while Trump wasn't campaigning in front of closed down factories saying, I'm going to open this back up and give you your job back. And liberals go, oh, that's bullshit. He wasn't going to do that. Yeah, you missed the point. Of course he didn't do that. He resonated with these people who have had everything taken away from them. But no, they blame Russia. They blame Russia. Then this foregone, and it's been debunked. The Mueller report, Aaron Mate, it's been proven. No. And they just say it like it's fact. They just say it like it's fact. But this is 3 weeks ago. So they started planting that seed. Oh, just in case Biden loses, let's get the Russia thing going again. So had Trump won, we'd have 8 years of blaming Russia.
Cause division. Wray's comments contradict those from President Trump and other officials who've been downplaying the Russian threat on election security. For more on all of this, I'm joined by former CIA officer Evan McMullin. He's also the executive director of the advocacy organization Stand Up Republic, and he ran for president in 2016 as an independent. Evan, before we even get into any of this, I wanted to give you also an opportunity to react to this stunning news as somebody who has worked in government and has been a very proud American in so many ways to the passing suddenly of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Well, thank you, Lana, and it's great to be with you. And we certainly mourn the death of such a great public servant, someone who has represented the
CIA apparently loved Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This is a former CIA guy. They just announced it. They're just putting see how the CIA is everywhere. They control everything.
Of women in our country and has served for so long in her life, despite many challenges and to her health and we mourn her passing as Americans, regardless of where we are on the political spectrum or our parties. Certainly, she has served the country honorably, and our heart goes out to her family and the loved ones that she's left behind.
I just want to share with our viewers, because this is such breaking news, a statement that we received from Chief Justice John Roberts saying about Justice Ginsburg, quote, "Our nation has lost a jurist of historic
All right, so now they're going into
we at the Supreme Court have lost a cherished colleague.
Right when it
Today
happened.
we mourn, but with confidence that future generations will remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But I want to hear more CIA nonsense about
a tireless
Russia.
and resolute champion of justice." All right, Evan, let's go ahead now and change direction to talk about something that that is so fundamental to the functioning of our country, our election security. So why is Russia so interested in our presidential elections? What is the end game for Russia here?
Well, of course, Russia is led by Vladimir Putin, who certainly regrets the fall from prominence of the Soviet Union and seeks to reach that.
No, he doesn't. First of all, no. And anyone's like, Graham, you love Putin. No, Putin, if it wasn't for the fall of the Soviet Union, Putin wouldn't have become president. He rebuilt. So the Soviet Union fell, the wall fell like 89, right? The West, mainly America, put Yeltsin in power, who was, in addition to being an alcoholic, was a puppet. He was a puppet for America and the West. Chaos ensued. That's what happens when empires collapse. It's going to happen in America. They were shooting tanks at the building that is essentially the White House. It was nuts. It was like some people were staying loyal to the Communist Party. Some people were, it was madness. And then there was, they were Chechnya. They were bringing drugs in there. The Russian mafia was running. It was mayhem. Putin came to power and brought stability. You can argue how he did it. You can argue why he did it, but that's what happened. And when I was in Russia a year ago, older people were like, yeah, Putin brought stability. The younger people were a little more critical of Putin, but not all of them. Some younger people were like, yeah, we like Putin. Some people were very critical of him. This idea that everybody like locksteps behind Putin is not true, but he brought stability to that country. This notion that this is the fabrication. This is the CIA, by the way. That's a fabrication that Putin wants to go back to the KGB. No, he doesn't. He's doing fine. He wants to go back to the old Soviet Union days. So so we're starting off with bullshit from the CIA.
Russia in place in terms of its global influence, but Russia has challenges in that regard. Its economy is less than a tenth of ours here in the United States of America. Its military isn't capable of projecting the way ours is and the way militaries even in Europe are. But it's still, under Putin's leadership, seeks to compete as a strategic competitor with the United States and other great powers. And under Putin's leadership, it has learned that it can do that through information warfare. Information warfare is cheap, and Russia and Putin have proven that it can be extremely effective in dividing countries against themselves, making them unable to govern themselves, and certainly unable to project their own power on the global stage. Meanwhile, Putin has learned that through information warfare, he can promote the rise of leaders in foreign countries who are friendly to Russia and its interests. And that includes, in our case, in the United States, advancing and protecting President Trump, who has continued to try to undermine NATO and other free state alliances, as well as actually work himself to turn Americans against each other, which of course means that we're unwilling and unable to protect ourselves from modern threats like the one Russia poses. We're unable to overcome modern challenges, whether it be climate change or healthcare or the growing national debt. Russia knows that it can achieve these measures, weakening us and other countries like us, other free states, without ever firing a bullet, simply with information warfare. And its meddling in our elections is part of that effort.
Meddling in our elections. So I just, and Russia might be doing all those things, sure. But there's a thing this guy just happened to forget to bring in here. And I just want to show you, this. Oh, look. All of these American bases surrounding Russia. I talked to people when I was in Russia a year ago. I talked to a lot of people there, including Susie Dawson. She said, leading up to the 2016 election, people didn't want Trump to win. They were afraid if Hillary won. Obama had been putting NATO troops on the Russian border. Hillary was talking tough. Russia was like, oh shit, America's going to invade us. They're going to bomb us. This is a country that went through a lot of awful stuff. And I'm not excusing anything bad or negative that Putin's done. I'm just putting, like, we act like we always play this, like, they're trying to undermine our elections. Like, whoa, this isn't provoking anybody. This isn't terrifying anyone at all. Can you imagine? America, which outspends the next 10 countries combined, is surrounding you with its military? Gee, I wonder if that's terrifying at all. So we can't sit here and pretend like, oh, we're just the good guys. We look at that. That has a big that plays a big part into Russia's strategy. If they're like, and when Trump won, people were relieved because they were literally thought America was going to invade them. And wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, if Russia had troops lining up along the Mexican border and had missiles all throughout Cuba and the Caribbean and stuff like that, wouldn't you be a little nervous? And they had two people running for office. One was talking big about, we're going to go get America. We're tired of them. And the other one, it was like, I'm not that mad at America. Wouldn't you? See, Americans can't seem to think of anything other than how through our lens. This is their lens. This is Russia, which lost 20-some million people in World War II. We lost 418,000 people. They lost 20 million people. So they know what war on their shores is like. That's all. Gee, the CIA guy forgot this. I guess it was a network thing. It had its network time slot. They had to get to a commercial break. So that was on CBS 3 weeks ago. Right before the election, maybe Russia is trying to interfere, and the CIA expert, right, just to plant that seed. Oh, Biden wins handily. Here's what CBS is saying now.
The nation's top federal election infrastructure agency says this year's election was, quote, the most secure in history. In a statement, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said, quote, there is no evidence any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. The statement goes on to read, quote, we can assure you we have the utmost confidence in the security and integrity of our elections, and you should too. Meanwhile, CBS News is projecting President-elect Biden has won the state of Arizona, adding 11 more.
The same network. CBSN. This is 3 weeks apart. Russia. We're going to talk to CIA guy. Well, this is what Russia does is Russia, bad, Russia. 3 weeks later, completely 100% fair election. 100%. So wait a minute. So Russia, they just decided like 2 weeks ago to stop, like right before the night before the election, Putin went, you know what? Don't meddle. Stop meddling. That's what Putin did. 4 years of Russia. Rachel Maddow going insane. This is CBS. This is
electoral votes to his total. Mr. Biden officially crossed the 270 electoral vote threshold Saturday with wins in Pennsylvania and Nevada. He now sits at 290. Joe Biden is the first Democrat to win Arizona since Bill Clinton did it in 1996. Deborah Alfarone is in Washington with more.
CBS News has called Arizona.
I can't listen anymore to that nonsense. 3 weeks ago, Russia's up to its old tricks again. Today, most fair, safe, secure election we've ever had in the history of everything. It's such bullshit. There's the only truth to anything. That is the real truth. We do this, and look, Iran completely surrounded. Oh, Libya, we took them out. Look at China, completely surrounding China. Weird. These two countries that do business together, and I'm not discounting any of their authoritarian stuff that they do, but we're way more authoritarian. Yes, you heard me say that. The United States is way more authoritarian than Russia or China. Yes. Our NSA, we spend more in the NSA than these two countries combined. We spend more in the CIA than these two countries combined. We have the Patriot Act. I've had my channel just shut down, demonetized because YouTube, which is owned by Google, which works hand in glove with the CIA and has since 2011, WikiLeaks proved that. just will shut my channel down. This video might get shut down. You might only be able to watch this on Rockfin. Oh, thanks for watching the show, everybody. It's fun calling out the bullshit of the corporate media. Just 3 weeks. Russia stopped. They couldn't hang. I guess they ran out of money. They couldn't scrape together $104,000, $104,700. They just couldn't. They were about like 3 weeks ago. They were looking to get, and then they just couldn't. They just couldn't get that loan. They probably couldn't get an SBA loan or their credit card, something. You know what I mean? Putin's probably, his brakes went out like right before so he had to spend money getting his brakes fixed. So he didn't have the money on the social media. You know, that's probably what happened. You ever been like that? You got to think, get money saved up. You're going to go do this thing. And then, you lose your brake or something, you know, like, I didn't see that coming. And then the savings, guess they become your emergency. I get it. They had their overthrow the American election fund going, and then, boink, we ran out of money. Yay, Biden won the most fair election ever. So whether you think this election was fair or rigged or whatever, I'm just showing you how the media is complete bullshit. And if Joe Biden lost, they would blame Russia. They were setting you up for that 3 weeks ago. And now Russia's gone. Biden won. Fair election. Oh, folks, thanks for supporting what we do. Nobody else is calling out this bullshit on the corporate media won't do this. You think Rachel Maddow is going to do a segment like this, calling out the bullshit she's herself has said for 4 years? You think anyone at CBS is going to be held accountable for this crap? Nope. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. Ba-boom. Vegan guns. Clack. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.